Out of Quadash from One Nation, One Power. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Chaya Banya Sharala from One Nation, One Power. Shalom.
Shalom. This is Brother Yaquah from One Nation, One Power. All praise and glory to the Most High, Ahaya, Ba'ashem Yeshaya, coming to this truth, bringing this truth on to my brothers and sisters out there, for all 12 tribes.
Shalom, this is El Dayo from One Nation, One Power, a demon stomper. Want to just say shalom.
Elder Kakal the Charm. Praise the Most High.
So that I can be free. So I give myself to you. Love me like you. So I just wanna love you the way you love me, Lord. I just wanna love you the way you love me, Lord. I just wanna love you the way you love me.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Outer Quadash from One Nation, One Power. And I want to give all glory, honor, and praise where praise is due to the Most High God, Ahaya, in the mighty name of Yeshaya, and the Ruach Quadash, which is the Holy Spirit. And I'm coming to you, brothers and sisters, with a quick message, a quick little understanding, brothers and sisters. I don't have nothing written down. As you can see, I don't have anything written. I just want to share this information with you. As I read and as the Holy Spirit leads me, I'm going to bring it forth. Okay. And this is on the creation of souls, brothers and sisters, the creation of souls. And let's get a precept real quick. I'm just swinging from the hip. All right, we're going to go to Malachi. We're going to go to Malachi, brothers and sisters. Malachi. And we're going to read Malachi 3:16. And it reads, "Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him." A what? A book of remembrance was written before him. The book of remembrance. The first and second book of Aki. Okay? This is the book of remembrance, brothers and sisters. As many times as I read the Bible, or just read it, I ain't never seen the book of remembrance until now. So I thank the Father for presenting it at such a time as this. Okay, I thank you, Father. And there goes your precept to know that this book is real. Okay, but I want to go into the creation account of souls, brothers and sisters. And I'm just freestyling. Okay. I want to go to 2 Aki, chapter 2, and we're going to start at verse 44. Okay. And the context of what's going on is that the Most High is showing, or the Most High and Yeshaya are showing Aki how he creates people. You hearing me? And it is deep. So I wanted to start at this particular verse. And this is 2 Aki, chapter 44, or verse 44, chapter 2 and verse 44. And it reads, "And the Messiah said, in the beginning, all the souls of mankind were created to be equal in the day of their creation." You hear that, brothers and sisters? They were created to be equal in the day of their creation. "And my diligence to seek out to discover a wondrous gift in them to my Father was not disannulled in even one human soul But my love for each one, the Messiah had love for everybody, brothers and sisters. Each one. And the great yearning of my desire to give my Father a precious gift. So Yeshua was the one that was creating the people for the Father. Okay, so the Messiah is not going to give the Father an evil gift. Okay, but it says to give my Father a precious gift that would bring comfort to his soul. Okay, let me get a precept real quick. Let me get a precept. Swinging from the hip. All right. Let's go to Colossians. Colossians real quick. Colossians. Colossians. I want to say chapter 1. And we're going to read 13 through 16. All right. And it reads, who has delivered us from the power of darkness and has translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. So he was the firstborn. He was the first created being. Verse 16. Pay attention to this. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Okay, so I'm getting that scripture to show you that Yeshua had part of he created all things. Okay, and I'm going to show you. All right. So now let's go back to 2nd Aki, chapter 2 and 44. Let's go back let's go back to the beginning. And the Messiah said, in the beginning, all souls of mankind were created to be equal in the day of their creation. And my diligence to seek out to discover a wondrous gift in them, to give my Father, was not diminished in even one human soul. So when he created souls, he made them perfect. There was nothing wrong with them. And it says, but my love for each one and the great yearning of my desire to give my Father a precious gift that would bring comfort to his soul, right? He wanted to give his Father a precious gift, was magnified to be of the same greatness for each and every human soul and aged man upon the earth, or in any land, pay attention to this, or in any land or country, or with any language of people, or any family of the earth. 45. I gave not one flaw gift to my Father in the day of creation. No, not one. Okay, so I'm gonna so he didn't give the Father when he made the souls of men, it was perfect. It was a gift to God. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump down to where it references right here, okay, in this book, 204. It gives you a number 204. I'm going to read that, okay? I want y'all to listen. It says, as these words were coming, I was moved into tears because I saw God create black, white, and brown people, and every kind of person, And God was simply overjoyed with each one. With each one. He was so excited about each one, he could hardly stand it. And each person was the most exciting thing that ever happened to God. Oh, come on out of here. I have always thought of myself as one who loves all people. But when this scene came before my eyes with the Urim, I realized in a deeper way the true value of every soul. I saw that there were no people God loved better than another. I have no doubt whatever that all people of every race are created equal, and people with different skin color and features did not become that way because of a negative influence. A what? A negative influence. That destroys that whole Mormon thing, the curse or whatever. Let's keep reading. God made each and every person to be just the way you see them. And his excitement to do it will stay with me all the days of my life. I pity the poor race on the day of judgment, birth defects, and such as that are languages of repentance that are meant to be healed and do not reflect any variance away from the totality of the love of God for them. So you see that, brothers and sisters? The Most High loves everybody. He created, Yeshua created, when Yeshua created, okay, he didn't give God a gift that the Most High wasn't pleased with. All right, we're going to get an example. All right, let's go to Aki chapter 2. We're going to give an example how he created. We're going to get an example. We're going to start at verse 30. This is 2nd Aki, chapter 2, and verse 30. Man, I might want to start even more. All right, we'll start at verse 30. And it came to pass that as he looked, no. Sorry, brothers and sisters. We'll start at verse 29. 29. And it came to pass that the glimmer of light began to slowly grow bigger, even until Aki could see that indeed it was a glimmer of light, and they went forward together towards the light, and slowly the light gloomed until it was large before them, and it was too bright to look upon. And Aki whispered, "What is this place, Lord?" So this is Aki and the Messiah. Okay, the Messiah is trying to show him something. And Messiah bent down and whispered quietly into his ear and said, "This is the throne of the mighty one." The what? The mighty one, which is the Most High. And we are in the midst of the presence of God. And from this place, love from the face of my Father issues forth to fill the immense of all the existence, and Aki forbeared from looking, so great was the presence of him who is, excuse me, my dog's over here barking. Quiet! Sorry, y'all. It says right here. Where was I at? So, okay, right here. And Aki forbeared from looking, so great was the presence of him who is, and he covered his face with his cloak and his hands. And he saw, too, Messiah in his lowest voice, Lord, why is it that we have come into the presence of God? And the Messiah said, it is my desire for you to know of the great mysteries of the creation of men. So the Messiah wants him to see the creation of men. Okay, let's keep reading. And do you not remember that we have come here according to that which you asked for me? And Aki replied, oh yes, Lord, it is so. And Yeshua said, be not afraid, for I will strengthen you. Look about you. What is it that you see? And Aki uncovered his face, and he looked up, and he saw the light of God, as if it were coming from the east. And the love and the light cast away all his fear. Okay, so he finally looked, and that light was love, and it cast away all his fear. Verse 30. So this is Yeshua bringing him to see how he creates people. Verse 30. And it came to pass that as he looked, he saw a face appear in the midst of the light that proceedeth forth before the face of God. And as he beheld, he saw that the face was that of his father Lud. Hey, baby. Hold on, you guys. Sorry, y'all. My little daughter came in. All right, so now let's keep reading. And it came to pass, verse 30, and it came to pass that as he looked, he saw a face appear in the midst of the light that proceeded forth from before the face of God. And as he beheld, he saw that the face was that of his father Lud. And it appeared as it was when he was young. And Aki was greatly moved, and he exclaimed, it is the face of my father. So the Yeshua is showing him the face of his father when he was created. Okay, let's keep reading. And the Messiah said, behold, now and listen. What is it that you hear? And Aki listened carefully. Verse 31. And it came to pass that he began to hear voices. And as he listened, he began to know that it was the voice of Messiah speaking unto the great Holy One. Okay, so as he sees the face of his father, Yeshua is telling him, hey, listen, just listen carefully. And he was listening, and he heard the face of and he heard the Messiah talking to the Father. Okay, let's keep reading. Now I'm gonna get a precept real quick. Let's go to John 1:18. John 1:18. John 1:18. I'm just swinging from the hip on this video. John 1:18. John 1:18, and it reads, no man has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. So you're seeing how they interact. Okay, Aki was only able to listen. Okay, that's all he was. So now let's keep going. And the Messiah said, O Holy Father, may I be granted permission to speak before you. And God said, say on, my beloved Son. And the Messiah said, will you, O Father, create this one whose face is now before you? So now Yeshua had to ask permission to the Father to create this person whose face is before him. So it's the same way how he created you, brothers and sisters. Created me. Okay, let's keep reading. And Aki could feel in the voice of Messiah the tender feeling of love he had for his father Lud. And Messiah was pleading before the face of God. And the love Messiah had for Lud was astonishing to Aki, and he examined it, and he exclaimed to himself. So as he was creating Lud, the love and compassion that he had for Lud when he created him, just like when he created you, brothers and sisters, it's the same way. He presented him before God, okay, the Most High, and he started creating them. All right, it says, my father does not know that Messiah loved him. Now Aki is talking about his father. He's saying the Messiah knew not that he loved his father in the earth. Okay, when he came to the earth, he didn't know that. He thought that the Messiah didn't like him, or the God didn't love him. My father does not know that Messiah loved him and pleaded for him before God in the day of his creation. You see that, brothers and sisters? He already pleaded for you in the beginning. The people that are atheists and stuff, the Messiah pleaded for them already before the creation of when you were created, brothers and sisters. Let's keep going. And Aki said, forgive me, Lord, for I do not know of your great love for my father. And the soul of Aki yearned to see and hear of that which transpired before him. And when he listened, he heard Messiah say to his father. Now, Messiah is talking to the Father, the Most High. As he appointed to the face of Lud's face, as he appointed to the face of Lud, Father, he's talking to the Most High. The Messiah is talking to the Most High. This one can choose from the day of his childhood to love you, and he can be a companion. So he gave him free will. He's creating them. He's saying this one can choose to love you, Father, and he can be a companion to all the work, the handwork of your creation. All right, brothers and sisters, sorry about that. Another interruption. This one can choose from the day of his childhood to love you, and he can be a companion in all the handwork of your creation. And surely he will be gentle and kind, for he is named Lud, which name means to be overflowing with the sweetness of living water. Okay, this is how he creates people. This is what he does, all right? For he can be one who is able to bring great happiness and pleasant living to all those around him. I just know that you will delight in all he can accomplish for you in the lives of men. See how sweetly he laughs and how joyously he plays as a child. See the innocence and charitable manner he can have as a man and a father and a husband, and all the hosts of the fountains of Kaya and the lustrial waters of the rivers Pinal can rejoice to him. See how determined he can be to accomplish your will. Please, O Father, create him. Please, O Father, create him. So as Yeshua is speaking the words, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, he is manifesting it to the Father, and the Father, he's asking the Father, create him, Father. This is his purpose towards you. This is how Yeshua created everybody in the world, brothers and sisters, with a purpose. But it's up to them to choose, right? Let's keep going. For he can be a brother to all the living, and he can be a great delight to his mother, and he surely will be a comfort to many. And by his hand there can be many who come to know you and who delight to walk with you. So Yeshua made him for the glory of God, to bring forth people to him. You see how he said he's going to make people laugh. He's going to be a child of love. He's going to do all these things, right? Let's keep reading. Verse 32. And it came to pass that the great Holy One could abide to hear no more, for his heart was overflowing with love for Lud, insomuch that it could not be contained. And he clapped his hands for joy. And he said, it is enough. I will create him. He said, what? I will create him. And such a wonder he will be to me, and such a warmth entereth my heart to think of him. Let us not delay. For my heart and soul yearns to have and behold him, and my great anticipation of our love for one another cannot be contained. So he created him. He said, let's do it. Let's create this, my son. Verse 33, and Aki looked, and the vision of the face of Lud became the spirit of a man. So a vision came to him, and he became a spirit of a man, standing in purity before the presence of God. And the man stood forth in the light of God before Aki. And it came to pass that the heart of Aki was greatly moved and he wept bitterly. And the Lord touched him to comfort him. And after a while Aki said, how is it, Lord, that my father is not how now what he was created to be? Just remember, because that was his son. Aki is his son. And he's seen Lud. He's seen how he was. It says, how is it that the great Holy One can be subject to sorrow? His mother, I can't even pronounce that name, so he's talking about his mother, Lud's mother, grieved over him greatly, and he was disobedient and full with anger and doubts, and he was rough and obstinate in his heart. He was stubborn. Now the name of Lud has come to mean to be preached or parched with thirst. And Panal and Kayal are strangers to him. And he was bitter against me because of my longing to be a brother to all the living. And he stole the happiness of all those in his house, And they now languish in the midst of wickedness in the land of Shinar. And his child who remain are to become the slaves of others. And Aki wept again. And again the Lord touched him to comfort him. And Aki thought upon the excitement of God to create his father, and of overflowing love, from out of which the souls of Lud had sprung forth. And he cried, "Oh, woe is me! Surely the tender heart of God will suffer for all these things." And he wept again, and the Messiah looked with knowing eyes upon Aki, for he saw a man acquitted with sorrow and accustomed to be burdened of grief. And Aki exclaimed, "The vision of my father has come to nothing." But Messiah touched him tenderly again, and he said, "Dear one, look now, what is it that you see?" And Aki wiped the tears away so that he could see, and he looked, and he saw the face of a maid who was beautiful and fair, and her face was in the light, and God before the face of God. So right here, he's about to create another person. But you see how Yeshaya, he created people to be in his will and to be in God's will. But everybody has free will, brothers and sisters. So when everybody was created from the beginning of the earth, the Messiah, let's read that again. Let's read that again over here. It says, this is verse 40, this is 2 Aki chapter 2 and 45. "And I give not one flaw gift to my Father in the day of creation. No, not one." So when he created, there was no flaws, brothers and sisters. Everybody was made perfect. Everybody. And when they came into this world, it was what they've been taught. It was what they believed. And it still is today. When Moses came to the children of Israel and said, I put before you life and death. And he says, choose life, which was the commandments of God. So brothers and sisters, I wanted to just go over this. I'm just going as the Holy Spirit leads me. I didn't have nothing written. I just flew. I just flowed with the Spirit. So I wanted to bring forth this information. I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High God, Ahaya, in the mighty name of Yeshaya, and the Ruach Kodesh, which is the Holy Spirit. Shalom.